Every notification. Every opinion. Every so-called expert telling you what to do, how to think, who to become. Your phone buzzes. Another guru. Another secret to success. Another distraction pulling you away from the only thing that truly matters, the work. Stop. Stop scrolling. Stop consuming. Stop chasing hacks and shortcuts that don't exist. Because here's the truth. You already have what you need. Right now. The power to cut through the noise and focus on what's real. Most people are addicted to noise because silence is terrifying. Silence forces you to face yourself. It forces you to confront the question. What are you really doing with your life? It's easier to stay distracted. To consume content about success instead of creating it. But here's the raw reality. Every minute you spend consuming someone else's content is a minute stolen from building your own life. Motivation videos. Podcasts. Books. They don't make you successful. They trick you into feeling productive while keeping you stuck. This video is no different. Unless you make it the last one. Unless this is the moment you decide to stop watching and start doing. Because reality is simple. It doesn't need a 3-hour morning routine. It doesn't need another $500 course. It doesn't need another influencer's 10 steps to greatness. That's it. Everything else is noise. So cut it. Silence it. And build the life you keep pretending you're learning about. You don't need to meditate for an hour. Spend that hour working on your craft. You don't need to journal for 30 minutes. Spend those 30 minutes taking action on your goals. You don't need a 2-hour productivity podcast. Be productive for those 2 hours. The noise wants you to believe you need systems, hacks, apps, planners. But the truth? You only need to do the work. The work is simple. Not easy, but simple. Identify what you want. Figure out what it takes. And do it. Every single day. But here's the problem. Simple doesn't feel sophisticated. Simple doesn't make you feel like part of some elite, peak performer club. Simple doesn't feed your ego. Simple just works. And working is scary, because it means you might fail. It means you might find out you're not as special as you thought. Here's the raw truth. You're not special. None of us are. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck, or talent, or connections. It's focus. The ability to ignore the noise and follow the signal. The noise will tell you there's a secret. That successful people know something you don't. That if you just find the right book, the right mentor, the right course, everything will click. But here's the secret. There is no secret. There's only work. Boring. Repetitive. Unglamorous. Work. Every entrepreneur who built something real spent more time building than talking about building. Every champion trained more than they posted about training. Every artist created more than they consumed. Deep down, you already know this. But the noise drowns it out. It convinces you you're not ready. That you need more information. That you need permission. Discipline. Motivation. Action. That's on you. It always has been. So cut the noise. Not tomorrow. Now. Delete the apps that distract you. Unfollow people who make you doubt yourself. Stop consuming content that feels productive but changes nothing. What's left when you cut the noise? Silence. And in silence, you'll finally hear the one voice that matters, yours. Your thoughts. Your fears. Your truth. Silence is where the magic happens. Where you remember what you really want. Where you stop comparing and start creating. And in that silence, you'll realize. You already know what to do. You've always known. You don't need more. You need less. Not addition. Subtraction. Not wide. Deep. Pick one thing. One goal. One skill. One project. And pour everything into it until it's done. That's how excellence is built. Not by being everywhere, doing everything, chasing everything. That's how you become mediocre at everything, and great at nothing. Excellence requires obsession. Obsession requires focus. Focus requires discipline. Discipline requires sacrifice. Because everything you want lives on the other side of what you're afraid to lose. Growth requires sacrifice. Change requires loss. Success requires saying no to almost everything, so you can say yes to the one thing that matters most. And yes, the noise will tell you this is extreme, unhealthy, impossible. But the noise has lied to you long enough. The noise is wrong. This isn't extreme, it's focused. This isn't unhealthy, it's intentional. This isn't impossible, it's the only way anyone has ever achieved anything meaningful. By cutting the noise. And focusing on the signal. So, what's your signal? What's the one thing, that if you gave it everything for the next year, would transform your life? Building a business. Getting in the best shape of your life. Mastering a skill. Strengthening your relationships. Creating something that matters. That's your signal. And everything else? Noise. Every other priority. Every other opportunity. Every other distraction. Noise pulling you away from the one thing that actually matters. And here's the test. The moment you commit to your signal, the noise gets louder. Distractions multiply. New opportunities appear. People tell you about all the other things you should be doing. Your brain invents 1,000 reasons why you should diversify your focus. This is where most people fail. They start strong, but they can't resist the noise. They can't trust the simplicity. They can't believe that doing less could lead to achieving more. But the noise is an illusion. It feels urgent. It feels important. It makes you feel like you're missing out. But that's the trap. The noise exists for one reason, to pull you away from your signal. Because your signal is dangerous. When you focus on your signal, you stop consuming. You stop buying courses. You stop chasing gurus. You stop needing validation. You become self-reliant. Internally motivated. And that makes you unstoppable. That's why the noise fights back. That's why staying focused is so hard. There are billion-dollar industries designed to keep you distracted. To keep you scrolling. To keep you waiting for the next thing, instead of mastering the current thing. But you're stronger than the noise. Smarter than the algorithms. More powerful than the systems built to capture your attention. You just have to choose. And choosing means sacrifice. It means saying no to good opportunities so you can say yes to the great one. It means being boring for a while so you can be interesting later. It means being unknown for a while so you can be unforgettable later. The noise says, be everywhere. The truth says, be somewhere specific. The noise says, be a generalist. The truth says, be a specialist. The noise says, keep your options open. The truth says, close the door and commit. And yes, commitment is scary. Because it means betting on yourself. It means accepting responsibility for the outcome. It means no more excuses. But excuses are noise. Results require silence. Results require focus. Results require doing the same thing, over and over, until you're so good, no one can ignore you. So ask yourself. What moves the needle for you? Not for anyone else. Not in theory. For you. In your life. With your resources. Because generic advice is useless. Other people's blueprints don't work. Only your feedback loop matters. Do. Measure. Adjust. Repeat. That's how you improve. That's how you grow. That's how you succeed. Everything else is noise. The noise complicates. The noise adds steps, hacks, systems. The noise keeps you stuck in analysis paralysis. And analysis paralysis is the most dangerous noise of all. Because it feels like progress. But it produces nothing. The cure is simple. Not easy, but simple. Stop consuming. Start creating. Stop planning. Start executing. Stop thinking. Start doing. Stop preparing. Start performing. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Because you won't feel ready. But here's the truth. Nobody ever feels ready. Ready is not a requirement. Confidence is not a requirement. Motivation is not a requirement. The only requirement is that you start. Start messy. Start scared. Start unprepared. Start without knowing what you're doing. Start anyway. Because this is how everyone who ever achieved anything started. Not with certainty, but with commitment. Not with confidence, but with courage. Not with knowledge, but with a willingness to learn through doing. You don't learn by reading. You don't learn by watching. You learn by doing. Take the step. Then the next. And the next. That's how progress happens, not by knowing the entire path, but by walking it. Risk is part of it. Uncertainty is part of it. Failure is part of it. Discomfort is part of it. The noise promises you a path without these challenges. The noise is lying. Because without risk, there's no reward. Without failure, no growth. Without discomfort, no strength. The noise says you need motivation. But motivation is fleeting. Discipline is forever. Discipline means showing up when you don't feel like it. Working when you're not inspired. Doing the thing you said you'd do, no matter how you feel. Discipline isn't willpower. It's environment. It's systems. It's removing the wrong choices so the right ones are automatic. No junk food in the house if you want health. No phone in the bedroom if you want rest. No distractions on your feed if you want focus. That's how discipline becomes effortless. That's how consistency is born. And consistency is the real magic. Small actions, repeated daily, create massive results over time. But the noise hates time. The noise wants now. Fast results. Quick fixes. Shortcuts. That's why most people quit, right before the breakthrough. So hear this. Real results take longer than you think. Real growth takes longer than you think. Real success takes longer than you think. But the reward? It's greater than you can imagine. Because mastery is the goal, not perfection. And mastery comes from repetition. Doing the fundamentals until they're who you are, not just what you do. That's when compound interest kicks in. That's when the boring turns into brilliance. That's when people notice. That's when you realize every sacrifice was worth it. Trust yourself. You already know what to do. You already have enough to start. You've always had it. The noise wants you to depend on others, to wait for permission, for motivation, for answers. But nobody is coming to save you. Nobody cares more about your success than you do. Your time. Your focus. Your energy. Stop giving them away. Invest them in yourself. Because success isn't for the smartest. It isn't for the luckiest. It isn't for the chosen few. Success is for anyone willing to cut the noise. And do the work. Do the work they avoid. Face the discomfort they run from. Stay consistent when they quit. And one day, they'll wonder how you did it. And you'll know the truth. You didn't take the easy road. You took the only road worth walking. Most people want the reward without the grind. They want success without sweat. Victory without sacrifice. But the truth? That doesn't exist. Beat drop. If you step into the work they avoid, you gain something rare. An edge. Every excuse you reject, every uncomfortable step you take, every moment you choose the hard path. You build toughness. The kind that can't be faked, bought, or borrowed. That's the separator. Not talent. Not luck. Not opportunity. But the willingness to keep going when everyone else quits. While they're still waiting for motivation. You're moving on discipline. While they're making excuses. You're rewriting your story. The work they avoid is where growth lives. It's the early mornings, the late nights, the repetition no one claps for. It's the conversations you don't want to have. The weight you don't want to lift. The silence you don't want to face. Most people run from that silence. They run from the mirror that hard work holds up to them. But if you're serious about becoming more, you run straight into it. That's where greatness is made. Not in comfort. Not in shortcuts. But in the fire that burns away everything weak. And leaves behind only strength. The work they avoid is the work that makes you unstoppable. And when the results come, they won't call it luck. They'll call it what it really was. Choice. You stop seeing hard as something to fear. You start craving it, because the harder it gets, the more it's shaping you. Every time you choose the work over comfort, you add another brick to your foundation. Not fake confidence. Not borrowed energy. But the kind of strength that can't be touched, because you earned it in the dark. That's why in the end, there's no real competition. Most people are waiting for things to get easier. But you're out there getting stronger. Most people chase shortcuts. You're building a foundation that never cracks. Most people avoid the work. You've made it your home. Music rises. And when the moment comes to prove yourself, you won't have to rise to the occasion. You'll already be there, because you've been living there all along. When you choose to do the work they avoid, you sign a quiet contract with yourself. A contract that says, I will not settle for average. I will not lower my standards. I will not quit when it's hard. This work is not glamorous. It rarely comes with applause. It tests you in silence. And the results take longer than you think. But here's the truth. Everyone feels the pull to quit. Everyone feels the temptation to stop. The difference? The winners keep moving anyway. Not because they're superhuman. But because they understand one thing. Showing up matters more than feeling ready. Music intensifies, faster beat. Momentum is built in the shadows. By doing the small, thankless tasks. By stacking invisible wins. Until one day, the world can't ignore what you've built. They can copy your style. But they can't copy the hours you've put in. They can repeat your words. But they can't duplicate your scars. That's why the gap between you and them grows every single day. Every time you choose the hard road. You move ahead while they stay stuck. This is how greatness is built. Not in dramatic gestures. But in quiet decisions, made over and over again. To lean into the pain, the boredom, the difficulty. Music hits a deep drop, cinematic tone. And one day, the very work they avoided will be the reason they can't catch you. That's the real reward. Not the money. Not the recognition. But the unshakable pride of knowing. You built yourself. One unglamorous, unseen, avoided task at a time. Music shifts to a hopeful, rising climax. Most people already know what they should be doing. They're not stuck because of ignorance. They're stuck because of avoidance. Avoidance of discomfort. Avoidance of failure. Avoidance of truth. But not you. You've decided. You've chosen discomfort. You've chosen the fire. You've chosen the grind they run from. And because of that, when life tests you, you won't fold. You'll rise. Because you've been preparing in silence. Building in shadows. Stacking bricks when nobody was watching. That's the difference. That's the edge. That's the power of doing the work they avoid. Music peaks, strong finish. So the question is, will you do the work? Or will you keep avoiding it? Because your future depends on your answer. Music peaks fades out on silence. Someone who takes ownership when everyone else passes the blame. Someone who chooses the steep climb over the flat, easy road, because you know exactly where each one leads. The work they avoid. That's your competitive edge. Every time you show up when they don't, you widen the gap, a gap so massive, they'll never catch up. And here's the truth they'll never understand. It's not just about the results. Yes, the work makes you stronger, smarter, more capable. But the real reward is who you become in the process. The grind strips away excuses. It forces you to face yourself, without the filters, without the lies you tell to feel comfortable. It teaches you that your limits, mostly lies, that your potential, only unlocked through discomfort. They avoid the hard because it's painful. But that's the point. The difficulty is what forges you. It's what separates the fragile from the unbreakable. So keep going. Keep showing up. Keep doing the work they avoid. Not just for the success it brings, but for the person it makes you. Because at the end of the day, that's the victory no one can take away. There will be days when the work feels invisible. No one claps. No one notices the hours you've poured in. And you'll wonder, is it even worth it? That's where most people quit. They need recognition to keep moving. But not you. Because you're not here for applause. You're not chasing instant rewards. You chose to be different. To chase a life most people will never taste. And the path to that life? It's paved with work no one sees. Built in quiet hours, far from the spotlight. Later, when success finally comes, people will call you lucky. But they'll never know how much you gave when nothing was coming back. And that's why, when everything is against you, when the results are slow, when your mind whispers, take it easy. That's the exact moment you double down. That's when you sharpen yourself instead of softening. Each push builds a strength that can't be bought, taught, or borrowed. You're preparing for battles you can't even see yet. And when those battles come, you won't need to rise to the occasion. You'll already be living there. That's why you do the work they avoid. Because one day, you'll face a moment that would break the average person. But for you, it will just be another day. Most people hide from the hard work. Because the hard work exposes the truth. It shows where they're weak. It shows the lies they've been telling themselves about effort, discipline, hunger. So they stay in the shallow end. Pretending they're swimming. But you step into deep water. It forces you to confront every excuse, every flaw, every fear. It's uncomfortable. It's exhausting. It's humbling. And that's exactly why you run toward it. Because every time you survive it, you become stronger, sharper, more dangerous to the limits that once held you back. That's the difference. They try when it's convenient. You deliver no matter the cost. The gap isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't opportunity. It's the willingness to endure what they won't. They stop when it's boring. You keep going. They quit when it's painful. You lean in. They take the easy road. You grind the steep one. Over time, those choices create a canyon between you and them. While they recycle the same year over and over. You stack skills. You stack discipline. You stack wins. The work they avoid becomes the advantage you own. And one day, when the results explode into view, they'll call it unfair. But you'll know. Hour by hour. Rep by rep. You earned it. Yes, there will be days you feel invisible. No claps. No medals. No praise. And in that silence, you'll ask yourself, why am I doing this? But deep down, you already know. Because this is who you chose to become. You stopped waiting for the perfect moment. You stopped chasing comfort. You started chasing growth. You show up when no one's watching. You work when it's boring. You improve when there's no praise. Because results don't come to the loudest, the flashiest, the most liked. They come to the one who refuses to quit. Brick by brick. Hour by hour. You're building discipline. You're mastering the basics. You're creating results no matter the conditions. You don't rise by accident. You rise by design. And the design is simple. Do the work they won't. Do it when it's cold. Do it when it's lonely. Do it when no one claps. Do it because it matters. Not just for the success it brings, but for the unshakable confidence that comes from knowing. You didn't quit. You earned every inch. And you're still climbing. So stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop chasing perfect moments. Because perfect moments don't exist. The only perfect moment is the one you create right now. Perfect conditions don't exist. Perfect timing doesn't exist. You know what does exist? This moment. This messy, imperfect, not quite ready moment you're living right now. If you're going to build something, if you're going to become somebody, you have to start right here, in the mess. Start messy. Start anyway. That's not just a quote on a poster, that's a way of life. Every person you admire, every person who built something meaningful, every dream that came true, all of them started messy. They didn't have perfect plans. They didn't have perfect timing. They didn't have all the answers. The only difference between them and you is this. They were willing to start messy. They were willing to look stupid. They were willing to fail. They were willing to be imperfect in public. And you? You're waiting. Waiting for permission. Waiting for the stars to align. Waiting for perfect. But here's the truth, perfect is the enemy of progress. If you keep waiting, you'll spend your whole life waiting. So stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop hesitating. Start. Start messy. Start now. Start anyway. But here's what I need you to understand, perfect is the enemy of progress. Waiting for perfect is just another way of saying you're scared. Waiting for the right time is just another way of saying you don't believe in yourself enough to start where you are, with what you have. And I get it. Starting is scary. Starting means you might fail. Starting means people might judge you. Starting means you might not be good right away. Starting means you'll be vulnerable, exposed, and imperfect for everyone to see. But you know what's even scarier? Staying where you are. Living with regret. Looking back and wondering what would have happened if you had just started. That's the weight you can't escape, the what-ifs. Because starting isn't about being ready. Starting is about being brave. It's saying, I don't have it all figured out, but I'll try anyway. I might fail, but I'll risk it. I'm not perfect, but I'll start right here, right now. And here's the truth, the mess isn't a mistake. The mess is the magic. It's where you learn. It's where you grow. It's where you figure out who you're meant to become. You don't learn by waiting. You don't grow by planning. You don't change by dreaming. You change by starting. Most people never begin. They wait for conditions that never come. That's why most people never build anything meaningful. But not you. Not anymore. Today is the day you stop waiting. Today is the day you stop planning. Today is the day you start messy. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start now. Because the right conditions aren't someday. The right conditions are here. The right conditions are now. So don't wait for perfect. Start messy. Start anyway. So yes, you're going to fail sometimes. You're going to look foolish sometimes. You're going to fall flat on your face sometimes. But every fall, every failure, every mistake, it's all part of the path. It's proof you're in the arena while everyone else is still sitting in the stands. Because success doesn't belong to the ones who wait for perfect. Success belongs to the ones who start messy. The ones who take the first step even when they're scared. The ones who keep going even when they stumble. The ones who refuse to let fear or doubt or failure stop them. That's how dreams are built. That's how lives are changed. That's how ordinary people become extraordinary. And that's how you will too. Not someday. Not when you're ready. Not when everything lines up. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Don't let another day slip by. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start messy. Start anyway. Because the only wrong way to start is not starting at all. Your relationship dreams, they need you to start. Your future, it needs you to start. Because nothing in your life changes until you do. No dream comes alive until you give it breath. No vision becomes real until you take that first step. And yes, it will be scary. Yes, it will be messy. Yes, you will stumble. But that's the point. That's the process. That's the path. The people you admire, the stories that inspire you, the legends you look up to, every single one of them started exactly where you are. Scared. Uncertain. Imperfect. The only difference is, they started anyway. So today, make the decision. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Take the first step. Write the first line. Record the first video. Send the first message. Lift the first weight. Start messy. Stay consistent. Keep going. Because greatness doesn't come from waiting for perfect. Greatness comes from starting messy, and never stopping. Dreams mean nothing if you don't pursue them. Potential means nothing if you don't act on it. So stop waiting. Stop planning forever. Stop hiding behind excuses. Your moment is now. Your time is today. Your life is waiting. Don't wait for perfect. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for certainty. Because the truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. And you don't have to. You just have to begin. Messy. Imperfect. Scared. But willing. Willing to take the step. Willing to trust yourself. Willing to do it anyway. Because in the end, the people who win are not the people who waited. They are the people who started. And if you want to change your life, if you want to live your dream, if you want to become everything you know you can be, so go. Go start messy. Go start scared. Go start uncertain. Go start imperfect. But for God's sake, just start. Goals mean nothing if you don't work toward them. Ideas mean nothing if you don't execute them. Hope means nothing if you don't take steps to make it real. And taking those steps, it means starting. Starting messy. Starting imperfect. Starting scared. Starting anyway. Because here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. You're never going to feel completely ready. You're never going to have all the information. You're never going to have perfect conditions. You're never going to have total certainty. If you wait for those things, you'll wait forever. But you don't need those things to start. What you need is courage. What you need is determination. What you need is willingness. You need faith in yourself. And in your ability to figure things out. And you can. You absolutely can. But only if you start. Only if you take action. Only if you stop making excuses, and start making progress. The excuses will always be there. The obstacles will always be there. The doubts, the fears, the uncertainties. They'll always be there. And there will always be that voice inside your head, telling you to wait. To prepare more. To get just a little bit more ready. Don't listen to that voice. That voice isn't helping you. That voice is keeping you small. Because safety is overrated. Safety is the enemy of growth. The enemy of achievement. The enemy of living your dreams. You weren't born to be safe. You were born to be significant. You were born to make a difference. You were born to contribute something meaningful to this world. But you can't do any of that from your comfort zone. You can't do any of that by playing it safe. You can't do any of that by waiting for perfect. Perfect is a prison. Perfect is a lie. Perfect is the reason most people never start anything meaningful. Perfect is the excuse that keeps you stuck. But messy? Messy is freedom. Messy is truth. Messy is the beginning of everything great. Messy is the standard that lets you grow. So embrace the mess. Love the mess. Celebrate the mess. Because the mess is where the magic happens. Because the mess is where the magic happens. The mess is where dreams come to life. The mess is where ordinary people become extraordinary. And listen. You are not ordinary. You are extraordinary. You have extraordinary potential. Extraordinary capabilities. Extraordinary value to offer this world. But the world will never see it, if you don't start. If you don't begin. If you don't take that first messy step. So tell me. What are you waiting for? What excuse are you going to use today? What condition needs to be perfect before you take action? Whatever it is. It's not good enough. It's just fear, dressed up as logic. It's just another way of staying stuck. But you don't have to stay stuck. You don't have to keep waiting. You don't have to keep making excuses. You can start today. You can start right now. You can start messy. You can start anyway. And when you do, when you finally take that step, when you finally stop waiting and start doing, something inside you will change. Something will shift. Something will come alive. You'll remember who you are. You'll remember what you're capable of. You'll remember why you're here. Because you weren't born to sit on the sidelines of your own life. You were born to be in the game. To take action. To make things happen. That's who you are. That's who you've always been. So start messy. Start imperfect. Start scared. Start uncertain. Start anyway. Because starting is not about having all the answers. It's about being willing to find them. Starting is not about being perfect. It's about being persistent. Starting is not about knowing everything. It's about learning everything. And you can. You can figure it out. You can become everything you need to become. But only if you start. Only if you begin. Only if you take action. The time for planning. Over. The time for preparing. Finished. The time for waiting. Ended. The time for starting is now. The time for action is today. The time for your dreams is this moment. Don't let this moment pass. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Don't let fear win. Don't let doubt decide. Don't let excuses rule your life. Take control. Take action. Take the first step. Take it messy. Take it imperfect. Take it scared. But take it. Because your future self is counting on you. Your dreams are depending on you. Your potential is waiting for you. And the world needs what only you can offer. But it all starts with starting. It all begins with beginning. It all happens when you stop waiting and start doing. And if you don't, let me tell you what happens when you don't start. One day you'll wake up, 40, 50, 60 years old. And you'll realize you spent your life preparing to live. Instead of actually living. You spent your life getting ready. Instead of getting going. You spent your life planning your dream. Instead of pursuing it. And that regret? That pain of knowing you could have done something but didn't? That's worse than any failure. Worse than any embarrassment. Worse than any setback. Because at least when you fail after trying, you have a story. At least when you mess up after starting, you have experience. At least when you fall down after taking action, you have the knowledge of what it feels like to get back up. But when you never try, when you never start, you have nothing. Just regret. So don't wait another day. Don't wait another moment. The only way forward is to start. Start messy. Start scared. Start now. Because your life, your dream, your destiny is waiting. Perfect conditions don't exist. Perfect timing doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right now. This messy, imperfect, not ready moment you're living in. If you're waiting for the right time, you'll wait forever. If you're waiting to feel ready, you never will. The truth is, nobody starts ready. Nobody has experience before they begin. Nobody is good at something before they practice. The people you look up to. The ones who made it. They all started messy. They all started scared. They all started imperfect. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop letting fear and doubt run your life. Because one day, you'll wake up older and realize you spent your whole life preparing to live instead of actually living. And that regret is worse than any failure. You weren't born to play it safe. You were born to be significant. To make a difference. To create something meaningful. But it starts with action. It starts with courage. It starts with that first messy step. So start messy. Start imperfect. Start scared. But start. Because your dreams are waiting. Your future is counting on you. And the world needs what only you can give. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not someday. The time is now. Perfect conditions don't exist. Perfect timing doesn't exist. The only thing that exists is right now. This messy, imperfect, not ready moment you're living in. If you're waiting for the right time, you'll wait forever. If you're waiting to feel ready, you never will. The truth is, nobody starts ready. Nobody has experience before they begin. Nobody is good at something before they practice. The people you look up to. The ones who made it. They all started messy. They all started scared. They all started imperfect. So stop waiting. Stop making excuses. Stop letting fear and doubt run your life. Because one day, you'll wake up older and realize you spent your whole life preparing to live instead of actually living. And that regret is worse than any failure. You weren't born to play it safe. You were born to be significant. To make a difference. To create something meaningful. But it starts with action. It starts with courage. It starts with that first messy step. So start messy. Start imperfect. Start scared. But start. Because your dreams are waiting. Your future is counting on you. And the world needs what only you can give. The time is not tomorrow. The time is not someday. You have potential. You have greatness inside you. You have something special. But listen carefully. Potential without action is nothing. Greatness without work is meaningless. Dreams without discipline are dead. If you want to be someone, you have to bring it out. You have to demand it from yourself. You have to believe in yourself when nobody else does. You have to trust the process when you don't see the results. You have to keep moving when everything tells you to stop. Belief is everything. Belief is what makes the impossible possible. Belief is what turns dreams into reality. But belief without action, that's just wishful thinking. So combine belief with action. Combine vision with execution. Combine faith with discipline. That's how you win. And when life hits you, because it will, you don't stay down. Every champion has been knocked down. Every winner has tasted defeat. Every success story has chapters of failure. The difference? They got back up. They learned. They adapted. They kept going. And so can you. You think it's too late. You think you've missed your chance. That's fear talking. That's doubt whispering. It's never too late to become someone. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he started KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her first book at 65. Grandma Moses didn't start painting until she was 78. So what's your excuse? It's not too late for you. It's not over for you. Your story is still being written. But only if you take action. Only if you believe. Only if you refuse to quit. You have potential. You have greatness. You could be someone. But you have to start, today. The time is now. Age is just a number. Time is just an excuse. The only thing that matters is what you do with the time you have left. Stop waiting for the right moment. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone to hand you success. Nobody is going to give it to you. Nobody is going to make your dreams come true. You have to create your own moment. You have to earn it. You have to take it. There are no shortcuts. There are no easy ways. Nobody can do the work for you. You have to do it yourself. Ordinary people do ordinary things and get ordinary results. Extraordinary people, they make extraordinary sacrifices. They put in extraordinary effort. They live extraordinary lives. Which one are you? Which one do you want to be? Which one are you willing to become? The choice is yours. It's always been yours. You can keep waiting, or you can start acting. You can keep making excuses, or you can make progress. You can keep dreaming, or you can start working. You could be the one who changes everything. The one who breaks every limitation. The one who achieves every goal. The one who becomes everything they ever dreamed of becoming. But it starts with a decision. It starts with a commitment. It starts with action. Fear can't stop you. Doubt can't stop you. Other people's opinions can't stop you. Your past failures can't stop you. Nothing can stop you, unless you let it. You were not born to be average. You were not born to be mediocre. You were not born to be nobody. You were born to be someone. You were born to make a difference. You were born to leave a mark. You were born to be great. And greatness doesn't happen by accident. Greatness happens by choice. Greatness happens by action. Every legend was once a nobody who decided to become someone. Every success story started with nothing but the decision to begin. And now, it's your turn. It's your choice. It's your time. You could be someone. So stop waiting. And start becoming. You have to start believing like someone. You have to start living like someone who deserves to be someone. Stop settling for less. Stop accepting mediocrity. Stop being comfortable with being nobody. You deserve more. You can be more. You can do more. You can have more. You can become more. But you have to demand more from yourself. Your potential is unlimited. Your possibilities are endless. Your future is unwritten. You decide what happens next. You choose who you become. You determine your destiny. You have that power. You've always had that power. The question is, what will you do with it? You could be someone who inspires millions. Someone who breaks barriers. Someone who creates solutions. Someone who builds empires. Someone who leaves a legacy. Someone who makes history. But it all starts with belief. It all starts with a decision. It all starts with the work. It all starts with never giving up. The world is waiting for you to become someone. Your family is waiting. Your future is waiting. Your dreams are waiting. Your purpose is waiting. Stop making them wait. Stop making yourself wait. You could be someone. You should be someone. You will be someone. But only if you decide. Only if you commit. Only if you work. Only if you never stop believing. The time is now. The moment is here. The opportunity is yours. What are you going to do with it? Will you waste it like so many before? Or will you seize it, and finally become someone? You could be someone. The question is, will you? Because that answer will determine everything. Your future. Your legacy. Your impact. It will determine whether you remain nobody. Oh, you already have everything you need to be someone. You have the intelligence. You have the ability. You have the opportunity. You have the time. The only question is, do you have the will? Do you have the courage? Do you have the persistence to become someone? I believe you do. But it doesn't matter what I believe. It only matters what you believe. It only matters what you do. So stop waiting. Stop planning. Stop dreaming. Start acting. Start building. Start becoming someone. The world doesn't need another nobody. The world needs someone. Your family needs someone. Your future needs someone. You need you to be someone. And that someone is inside you right now. You could be extraordinary. You could be remarkable. You could be unforgettable. You could be the one who makes a difference. But first, you must act. You must sacrifice. You must persist. Because if it was easy, everyone would be someone. But not everyone is willing to pay the price. Not everyone is willing to keep going when it hurts. But you. You're not everyone. You're special. You're unique. You have something no one else has. Don't hide it. Don't waste it. Don't excuse it. Excuses are killing your dreams. Excuses are destroying your potential. Excuses are the enemy of your greatness. So stop making excuses. And start making moves. Because you could be someone. The only question left is, will you? Or finally, become someone? Stop explaining why you can't. And start showing why you can. Stop talking about obstacles. And start finding ways around them. Stop focusing on problems. And start creating solutions. Stop being the victim. And start being the victor. Because you could be someone who takes complete responsibility for their life. You could be someone who refuses to blame parents, teachers, bosses, the government, or society. Blame is just another excuse. Blame is just another prison. But responsibility is freedom. Responsibility is power. Responsibility is control over your destiny. When you accept that your life is your responsibility, your success, your happiness, your future, all your responsibility, you take back your power. Every single day, you make choices. What time you wake up. What you eat. Whether you move your body or stay lazy. What you read, what you watch, who you surround yourself with. Every choice counts. There's no neutral. You're either moving closer to greatness or further away. You're either becoming someone or staying nobody. Because success isn't an accident. It isn't luck. It isn't a coincidence. Success is a choice. Success is a habit. Success is the result of responsibility. Success is not an accident. Success is not luck. Success is a lifestyle. Success is a mindset. Success is a decision you make every single day. Successful people don't hope for success. They don't wish for success. They don't pray for success. They work for success. They plan for success. They prepare for success. They expect success. And above all, they demand success from themselves. You could be that person. The one who demands more. The one who refuses to settle for average. The one who pushes past limits. The one who goes where others won't go. Because the comfort zone, it's the enemy of greatness. It's where dreams go to die. It's where potential gets buried. It's where nobodies stay nobodies. If you want to become someone, you have to leave your comfort zone. You have to face your fears. You have to take risks. You have to be willing to fail. But listen closely. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is part of success. Failure is the tuition you pay for greatness. Failure is the teacher that shows you what doesn't work, so you can find what does work. You could be the one who embraces failure. The one who learns from every mistake. The one who gets sharper with every setback. The one who uses defeat as fuel for a stronger comeback. Most people, they're too afraid to even try. They stay safe. They play small. They hide in mediocrity. And they trade the possibility of being someone for the guarantee of being nobody. But you could be different. You could be the one who understands that the biggest risk is not taking any risk. You could be the one who knows that playing it safe is the most dangerous thing you can do. You could be the one who realizes that you will regret the chances you didn't take far more than the ones you did. You could be the one who bets on themselves. The one who trusts their instincts. The one who follows their heart, even when their head screams no. Because in the end, the world doesn't belong to the doubters. It doesn't belong to the excuse makers. It doesn't belong to the ones who quit. The world belongs to those who show up. The world belongs to those who take action. The world belongs to those who persist. The world belongs to those who never give up. The world belongs to those who believe they can become someone. And the question is, will that someone be you? The world belongs to those who try. The world belongs to those who persist. The world belongs to those who never give up. The world belongs to those who believe they can become someone. And you could be that someone. You could be the one who shows up every single day. The one who does the work even when you don't feel like it. The one who stays consistent even when results don't come right away. The one who keeps going, even when everyone else quits. Because consistency is the mother of mastery. Consistency is the key to breakthroughs. Consistency is what separates the professionals from the amateurs. It's what separates the champions from the wannabes. It's what separates the someones from the nobodies. You could be the one who is consistent in effort. Consistent in commitment. Consistent in habits. Consistent in mindset. Consistent in the pursuit of greatness. But remember, consistency is hard. It takes discipline. It takes sacrifice. It takes doing things when you don't want to. It takes moving forward when you feel like giving up. It takes being someone, even when the world treats you like nobody. And if you've ever wondered about the real story behind this channel, how I went from struggling and lost to motivating thousands of people every single day, now's your chance to hear it. I've shared my full journey, all the ups and downs, in a special audio and PDF just for you. If you want to get inspired and learn how I turned my life around, check out the link in the pinned comment. Your breakthrough might be just one story away. And if you want to take our motivational speeches with you anywhere, they're now on Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Music, and every streaming platform. Just hit the link in the pinned comment and carry motivation with you, anytime, anywhere. And for everyone who's been asking, yes, you can now wear the motivation. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, tracksuits, coffee mugs, and more, all waiting for you in our merch store. Links in the pinned comment. Go check it out. Join the movement. And let's keep growing, together.